There comes a moment in every person's life when they feel a quiet whisper inside them saying, there is more for you than the life you're currently living. That whisper is not your imagination. It is not a random thought. It is your higher self calling you into a new identity, an identity that already exists within you, waiting to be lived, expressed, and embodied. The truth is, you don't become the person you want to be by chasing outcomes or begging for miracles. You become that person by shifting the story you tell about who you are. Every dream you have, every vision that excites you, every version of yourself that you admire, those are not fantasies. They are previews of your potential reality. But you can only attract the life you want when you align with the self who already has it. Most people live backward. They say, when I have the relationship, then I'll feel lovable. When I have the money, then I'll feel abundant. When I have the opportunity, then I'll feel confident. But the universe doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you are. The person who says, I'll feel abundant once I get money, is telling the universe, I am not abundant. And the universe simply reflects it back. That is why the first step in manifestation is not wanting. It is being. Being the person who already feels worthy. Being the person who already believes. Being the person who lives from the identity of completion, not lack. Identity is the most powerful force in human behavior. You will never rise above the identity you hold about yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, life will arrange itself to confirm it. If you identify as a victim of circumstances, life will continue to show you circumstances that keep you powerless. But the moment you shift your identity, even subtly, you shift every outcome connected to it. Identity is the energetic signature that writes your destiny. This is why you must ask yourself, not what do I want, but who must I become to receive what I want? Every desire requires a new version of you. Not because the old you is broken, but because the old you was designed for the life you already have. Step into a greater life, you must step into a greater identity. The identity of someone who believes in their power, someone who trusts their intuition, someone who acts with clarity instead of fear. Your life is not waiting for your effort, it is waiting for your alignment. When you shift your identity, your world shifts with you. People treat you differently. Opportunities show up differently. Your decisions change, your energy changes, and because of that, your outcomes change. Think of yourself as a magnet. A magnet does not chase metal, it pulls it effortlessly by its very nature. When you become the person who already has what you desire, the things you seek begin seeking you. That is the identity shift. That is the core of manifestation. You don't repeat affirmations hoping something changes. You say them to remind yourself of who you truly are. You don't visualize to escape reality. You visualize to merge with the identity that creates a new one. You don't wait for signs. You become the sign. Because the moment you become the person who aligns with your dream, the dream no longer feels far away. It becomes a natural extension of your being. Becoming the person you want to be is not about hard work. It is about sacred alignment. It is choosing a new inner story. It is waking up each day and saying, I am no longer available for the version of myself who dimmed her light, doubted her worth, or settled for less. It is recognizing that the universe is not withholding anything from you. You are simply stepping into the identity capable of receiving it. There is a version of you that is ready to rise, but it cannot rise until you release the weight of who you no longer are. Most people are held back not by external forces, but by internal stories. Stories they inherited, stories society reinforced, stories their past carved into their minds. These stories become invisible prisons that limit possibility. They whisper things like, you're not good enough, you always fail, you're too late, it's too hard for someone like you. And the tragedy is not that these stories exist, but that so many people believe them. Yet here is the liberating truth. Every limiting belief you carry is a lie. Not a small lie, an enormous one, a lie that has shaped your decisions, your emotions, your results. And now it is time to let it go. Limiting beliefs are not reflections of your potential. They are reflections of your conditioning. Someone else taught you to doubt yourself. Someone else made you feel small. Someone else convinced you that you could not dream too big, reach too far, or want too much. But your soul does not speak the language of limitation. Only your past does. And your past has no authority over who you are becoming. When you cling to limiting beliefs, you are carrying around an outdated version of yourself, one who was sculpted by fear instead of freedom. That version of you cannot lead you into a new life. You must release it with compassion, not judgment. You outgrew that identity, and now you are stepping into a higher one. Letting go begins with awareness. You cannot change what you cannot see, so ask yourself, what belief about myself do I keep repeating that no longer serves me? Is it the belief that you're not capable, that you're unlucky, that life is harder for you, that good things don't last? These beliefs do not describe reality, they create it. And the moment you recognize them as the illusions they are, they lose their power. When a belief is exposed, it becomes a choice. And when it becomes a choice, you can consciously choose something better. Letting go is not about fighting the old belief. It is about rising above it. You don't defeat darkness by wrestling with it. You remove it by turning on the light. In the same way, you dissolve limiting beliefs by anchoring into new ones that reflect your truth. The truth that you are capable, the truth that you are guided, the truth that you are worthy of every dream you hold. Worthiness is your birthright, not something you earn through effort or perfection. When you claim your worthiness, you break the chains of every story that tried to shrink you. Many people ask, why can't I move forward? But the real question is, what am I still holding on to? Some people cling to old pain because it is familiar. Others cling to old fear because it feels safe. But nothing about your new life can grow in the soil of old beliefs. You must uproot what cannot serve you in the future. You must release the identity built by wounded moments and step into the identity shaped by conscious intention. The universe responds to the version of you that stands in the present, not the version shaped by the past. When you let go of limiting beliefs, you free up mental and emotional space for new experiences, new opportunities, and new manifestations to enter. You begin to think differently, feel differently, and attract differently. Letting go is not losing, it is clearing. It is clearing the path for the version of you that is ready to thrive. It is allowing your energy to rise without being weighed down by old narratives. Your transformation does not begin when your circumstances change. It begins when you change the beliefs that created those circumstances. And today, in this moment, you are releasing the version of yourself who was built for survival and becoming the version built for expansion, joy, purpose, and abundance. There is only one moment in all of existence where transformation is possible, and that moment is now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when life becomes easier or when circumstances magically align. The doorway to your new identity opens only in the present moment. Yet most people live their lives trapped between memories of the past and projections of the future. They replay old hurts and failures, carrying them like heavy suitcases into every new day, or they wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, never realizing that the perfect moment is the one they are already standing in. The present moment is powerful because it is the only place where you can choose a new thought, a new belief, a new emotional response. The past can only repeat itself when you keep feeding it with your attention. The future can only mirror your fears when you keep projecting them forward. But the present moment is neutral, pure, open. It holds no judgment, no limitation, no story. It simply asks, who do you choose to be right now? That choice is the birthplace of every manifestation. When you understand the power of the present, you stop waiting for change and start generating it. You begin to see that your mindset in this very moment is shaping your reality more than any external circumstance ever could. Your energy is a magnet, and that magnet is switched on now, not later. Every decision you make today is planting seeds for your future. Every thought you choose now becomes a direction your life begins to follow. You are never powerless because you are always one conscious choice away from shifting your entire inner world. Many people ask, how do I change my life? But the real question is, how do I change this moment? Because when you change the moment, you change the trajectory of everything that follows. You may not be able to rewrite your past, but you can refuse to carry its emotional weight into the next minute. You may not be able to predict your future, but you can choose to create it consciously through the thoughts you hold right now. And when you begin to consistently choose empowering thoughts in the present, your life naturally reorganizes itself to match them. Being present also means releasing the compulsive need to control every outcome. Most people are not manifesting. They are micromanaging life, gripping reality with fear disguised as planning. But true manifestation flows from presence, not control. When you are fully present, you trust the process. You trust yourself. You trust the intelligence that breathes through you and orchestrates your life. Presence is surrender, not the surrender of weakness, but the surrender of resistance. When resistance drops, your desires flow toward you with ease because you are no longer pushing them away with fear, doubt, or desperation. The present moment is also where your power to shift your emotional state exists. You cannot feel confident in the future if you practice insecurity right now. You cannot feel abundant tomorrow if you choose thoughts of lack today. Everything begins with this moment, this breath, this awareness. If you want to experience the reality of a new version of yourself, you must begin by embracing the emotional state of that version now. Even if nothing around you has changed, you can change your internal experience, and your external world will respond accordingly. The most extraordinary truth you will ever discover is that the present moment is enough. Enough for healing, enough for change, enough for creation. When you fully inhabit the now, you reclaim your creative power. You step out of the cycles of the past and step into the infinite possibilities of the present. This is where transformation happens, not gradually, but instantly. In the sacred pause where you say, I choose differently now. To become the person you want to be, you must bring your inner and outer world into harmony. Manifestation is not just thinking positively or speaking affirmations. It is alignment between what you think, what you say, and how you act. This is where most people struggle. They affirm abundance but think thoughts of fear. They speak confidence but act from insecurity. They desire love but behave as if they are unworthy of receiving it. When your thoughts, words, and actions are in conflict, your energy becomes scattered, and scattered energy cannot create the future you want. Your thoughts are the blueprint. They are the silent architects shaping your internal world. Every thought is an instruction to the universe, an energetic signal that says, bring me more of this. When your thoughts reflect your old identity, your life continues to echo your past. But when your thoughts begin to reflect the version of you who already has what you desire, you initiate powerful change. You begin to think like your future self. And thinking like your future self trains your subconscious mind to accept that version as your new normal. However, thoughts alone are not enough. Words are the next level of creation. Words anchor your energy into reality. Every time you say, I can't, I'm not, it's too hard, you're speaking limitations into existence. But when you choose words like, I am capable, I am evolving, I am ready, you open pathways that you could not see before. Words are declarations. They are commands. They are vibrational choices. And the universe listens to the energy behind your words more than the volume of your speech. Actions are the final expression of alignment. They are the physical proof of what you believe to be true. If your actions contradict your thoughts and words, your energy becomes confused. For example, you may affirm self-love, but if you continually tolerate disrespect, your actions deny your affirmation. You may think abundance, but if you act from scarcity, avoiding risks, hoarding money, rejecting opportunities, you are reinforcing lack. The universe does not respond to wishful thinking. It responds to integrated identity. The identity that thinks, speaks, and acts congruently. When your thoughts, words, and actions align, you become unstoppable. Alignment generates confidence because your entire being is moving in one direction. You no longer send mixed signals to the universe. You no longer contradict your desires with self-sabotage. You begin to operate from coherence, mental, emotional, and behavioral congruence. This state is magnetic. It draws opportunities toward you. It attracts people who match your new vibration. It transforms your inner world and ultimately your outer world. Think of alignment as a sacred promise you make to yourself. I will no longer think one thing, say another, and do something else. It is the decision to live intentionally, not reactively. When you align your inner and outer world, you create momentum, and momentum is the fuel of transformation. Every aligned choice strengthens your new identity. Every aligned action confirms that you are no longer the person who hesitates, doubts, or retreats into fear. Becoming the person you want to be is not about perfection. It is about consistency, showing up each day with thoughts that empower you, words that uplift you, and actions that reflect your highest self. When these three pillars merge, manifestation stops being a practice and becomes a natural, effortless expression of who you are. Alignment is not something you do, it is something you become. Every dream you hold is connected to an emotional frequency. Abundance has a vibration, confidence has a vibration, peace, love, success, purpose, all of them exist as emotional states before they become physical realities. The most profound shift you can make in your life is to step into the emotional state of your future self before your physical circumstances catch up. Most people believe they must wait for their conditions to change before they can feel differently. But manifestation works the opposite way. When you begin to feel like the version of you who already has what you desire, you send a powerful signal to the universe that says, I am ready. Emotion is the engine of manifestation. Thought is the blueprint, but emotion is the fuel. Without emotion, a desire remains a distant idea. Emotion animates it. Emotion magnetizes it. Emotion speaks to the universe in a language that bypasses logic. When you feel gratitude before receiving, you open the door to receiving. When you feel confidence before the success arrives, you become aligned with it. Feeling the emotion of your future self now is not pretending. It is embodying. It is choosing to live as the version who has already stepped into their next level. Your future self is not some distant, unreachable figure. It is a version that exists right now in the field of possibility. And every time you embody the emotions of that version, you merge with it. You bring it closer. You make it real. You collapse the distance between who you are and who you are becoming. When you close your eyes and imagine how your future self feels, how they walk, breathe, think, respond, trust, you awaken that identity inside you. And the more often you embody it, the more familiar it becomes, until eventually it becomes natural. It becomes your new normal. You do not manifest from effort, you manifest from alignment. And alignment requires emotional coherence. If you desire abundance but feel scarcity, your energy speaks scarcity. If you desire love but feel unworthy, your energy speaks unworthiness. The universe responds to your energy, not your wishes. This is why embodying your future self is the most powerful manifestation practice you can ever master. It rewires your subconscious mind. It shifts your energetic field. It dissolves the emotional patterns of your old identity. Conscious intention amplifies this embodiment. Intention is not desire, it is direction. It is the declaration of your inner GPS. When you set a clear intention, you signal to the universe, this is who I choose to be now. Intention focuses your energy. It anchors your emotions. It transforms your daily habits. When your intention is steady, your emotions follow. And when your emotions are aligned, you activate the law of attraction in its purest form. But the key is consistency. Embodiment is not something you do once. It is a way of being. It is waking up each morning and asking, how would my future self show up today? It is choosing the emotional vibration that serves your growth rather than the one conditioned by your past. Each time you return to the emotional state of your future self, you reinforce that identity. And each time you reinforce that identity, you reshape your destiny. You are not waiting for your future self to arrive. You are becoming your future self right now, through emotion, through intention, through inner alignment. When you embody the version of you who is confident, peaceful, abundant, and unstoppable, the universe has no choice but to rearrange your life to match that vibration. This is the secret to manifestation. You become the person who already has what you desire, and then you simply allow life to catch up. There is a beautiful principle at the heart of Wayne Dyer's teachings. Act as if what you desire is already here, not because you are pretending, not because you are forcing yourself to believe something unrealistic, but because the identity you choose determines the reality you experience. When you live as if, you bring the energy of your future self into the present moment. You walk with a different posture. You speak with a different tone. You make decisions that align with your vision rather than your fear. Living as if is not a trick. It is a transformation. It is the embodiment of faith in motion. Most people wait for proof before they take action. They wait to feel confident before they pursue their dreams. They wait to see results before they believe. But manifestation does not work that way. Life responds to conviction, not hesitation. When you live as if you are already the person you want to be, you create a powerful, energetic shift. Your subconscious mind begins rewriting its programming. Your nervous system begins adapting to a new reality. Your decisions, habits, and reactions begin aligning with your highest self instead of your old identity. Living as if means stepping into your new identity even when your surroundings still reflect your old one. It means trusting the process even when evidence hasn't appeared yet. It means choosing the vibration of certainty rather than waiting for external validation. When you consistently embody this energy, your life starts to reorganize itself. Opportunities appear that match your new vibration. People enter your life who see your value. Doors open that once seemed locked. You become a match for experiences you once thought were out of reach. This shift is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It is about remembering who you truly are. You are not limited by your past. You are not defined by your hardships. You are not bound by what others have told you. You are a limitless being capable of creating reality through your consciousness. Living as if is simply choosing to live from that truth. It is choosing to show up as the version of yourself who is already whole, already worthy, already aligned with your deepest desires. Every action you take from this place reinforces your new identity. When you speak with clarity, you reinforce your confidence. When you say no to what drains you and yes to what expands you, you reinforce your worth. When you take aligned steps toward your vision, you anchor your belief. Living as if creates momentum that becomes undeniable. And once momentum takes over, transformation becomes inevitable. Your new identity is not something you step into once. It is something you return to every day. Some days you will feel powerful. Other days you may fall back into old patterns. That is okay. Growth is not linear. What matters is your commitment to stepping back into alignment each time you slip. Each recommitment strengthens your identity. Each recommitment sharpens your vibration. Each recommitment brings you closer to the reality you are creating. Living as if is the final step, because it merges intention with embodiment, belief with action, desire with identity. When you consistently live as the highest version of yourself, you collapse the gap between who you are and who you want to be. Your future stops being a destination and becomes your present experience. This is the moment when manifestation stops being a concept and becomes your way of life. You step into your new identity fully, courageously, unapologetically, and the universe responds with abundance, guidance, synchronicities, and opportunities that make you say, "Of course, this is who I am now."